Sometimes the universe doesn't wait for justice to arrive in the long run. Sometimes it delivers a little lesson right there on the spot with timing so perfect, so poetic, that even the wind itself seems to join in. That's what we saw in a Florida road rage video, a splash of instant karma, hot coffee turned back on the hand that threw it. Now, family, let's sit with this story because it's about more than just laughs. It's about the way impatience, arrogance, and anger can boomerang back faster than you can blink. We live in a world where road rage has become a daily epidemic. According to a 2024 survey by dashcam company Nextbase, nearly 79% of drivers in this country have dealt with aggressive driving. Think about that. 8 out of every 10 people you pass on the road have been brushed by the sting of someone else's anger behind the wheel. And it's not just honking horns or rude gestures, it's violence. The Trace, an anti-gun violence site, reported that shootings connected to road rage have skyrocketed more than 400% since 2014. So when we hear about road rage, most of us brace ourselves for the worst. We've seen too many headlines end in tragedy, too many lives ended because somebody couldn't manage their temper at 60 miles an hour. But this time the story bent a little differently. The video that went viral started like so many others, a white SUV cutting in front of another car, an air thick with aggression. Behind the wheel of the other vehicle was Vincent Gao, an internet personality cruising along a major Florida road. Now, Vincent wasn't out there looking for drama, but drama came looking for him. In the SUV, 2 older men decided their anger would ride shotgun. The passenger, in particular, thought he had the perfect move, grab his tumbler of coffee, lean out, and douse Vincent's car in a bitter brew. And family, you know what happened next. The man flung his drink with all the bravado in the world, only to meet a force greater than himself, the wind. That coffee turned traitor. It flipped, it flew, and it splashed right back into his face, baptizing him in his own rage. The internet exploded. Laughter rippled across Instagram and Facebook. In 2 days, nearly 10 million people had pressed play. And in the caption, Vincent wrote 3 simple words, "Yes, I laughed." And who wouldn't? Because sometimes the universe doesn't wait for court dates or long explanations. Sometimes it offers you a 5-second sermon. And that sermon was clear. The energy you put out is the energy that comes back. The comment section became its own comedy show. Instant karma, wrote influencer Nick Yardy, racking up more than 12,000 likes. Another person chimed in, "It was the second toss after he'd already been drenched for me," and 50,000 people nodded in agreement. Even celebrities joined the chorus. Country pop singer Tanner Adele dropped in just to say, "Commenting so he knows I saw it too." Model Jordan Rand added her voice. South African actress Mona Monyane wrote, "He is embarrassed to this day." And honestly, she's right, that moment is going to follow him forever, because the internet never forgets. The jokes wrote themselves. One comment read, "How would you like your coffee, sir?" Same as I like my karma. Instant. Another viewer simply quoted the old saying, "Never spit into the wind." And truly, that's exactly what this was, a modern parable of a man learning that simple truth the hard way. And Vincent, ever the entertainer, added background music to seal the deal, a romantic ballad, La Mentira by Mexican crooner Luis Miguel, a love song, slow and tender, playing over a replay of a man's angry face getting washed clean with his own coffee. The mismatch was pure genius, one commenter wrote. "I don't know why the song makes this 10 times more funny, but it does." And the laughing emojis poured in like rain. But family, let's go deeper, because this isn't just a funny clip, it's a reflection of the times we're living in. The road has become a mirror of our impatience, our aggression, our inability to breathe. Every horn blast, every reckless cutoff, every coffee tossed in anger tells a story about how tightly wound people are. Yet here, for once, the story didn't end in blood or broken glass. It ended with coffee in the face and laughter across millions of screens. That doesn't erase the reality of road rage, but it gives us a glimpse of what happens when arrogance collides with truth. Sometimes justice arrives with sirens, but sometimes it shows up with a splash. Now let's take a breath together, because while it's easy to laugh at that coffee flying back into his face, there's something deeper simmering under the surface. That man's embarrassment was funny, yes, but it was also instructive. It showed us how quickly anger can flip, how easily the harm you try to send out can find its way back to you. That is the essence of karma, not some far-off reckoning years down the line, but sometimes immediate, right there in the moment, leaving you dripping in the very mess you created. And I think that's why this clip resonated with so many people, because in a world where road rage has become terrifying, where too many of these encounters end in tragedy, this one gave us release. It gave us a chance to laugh, to exhale, to feel like just this once, justice was as quick as the throw of a hand and the rush of a wind. But don't miss the lesson in the laughter, because while he sat in that passenger seat, soaked and humiliated, millions of people saw themselves in the reflection. How many of us, in moments of heat, have lashed out? How many of us have thrown words or actions into the wind only to feel them whip back into our own faces? That's the caution tucked inside this comedy. What you send out, you must be ready to receive. The survey told us the truth. 79% of drivers in America have felt the sting of aggression on the road. That means nearly all of us have been there, hearts racing, tempers flaring, hands gripping the wheel tighter than they should. And when the trace tells us that road rage shootings have climbed 400% since 2014, that number should chill us. Because it means more people are not just throwing coffee, they're pulling triggers. So what this viral moment shows us is a split screen of reality. On one side, the danger of unchecked rage. On the other, the humor of its collapse. The danger tells us to be cautious. The humor reminds us that arrogance always carries the seeds of its own undoing. And maybe that's why folks kept replaying the clip, not just for the laugh, but for the satisfaction of seeing anger humbled, seeing cruelty backfire, seeing the kind of justice we wish life handed out more often. Let's not forget the cultural rhythm of the moment either. The choice of music, Luis Miguel's La Mentira, that ballad floating over the chaos, made it art. It turned a foolish act into performance. It was like watching a silent film where the music told you, this is not tragedy, this is farce. The internet is good at making spectacle, but every now and then it makes a little theater of truth. Now, family, I have to add a little subtle sass here, because watching that man lean out of the car with all the confidence in the world only to baptize himself in coffee, that's a sermon all by itself. It's the modern day version of don't let your mouth write checks your life can't cash. Except here it was, don't let your hand throw coffee your face can't catch. And while we laugh, let's not miss that impatience is killing us. The roads are crowded with people who treat them like battlegrounds, who see every lane change as a challenge, who take every honk as an insult, who are so busy trying to dominate the pavement that they forget the road is supposed to carry us all safely home. Maybe this viral video is a reminder to slow down, to breathe, to let that SUV pass without needing to prove something. To recognize that sometimes the universe doesn't need your rage. It's already got a way of balancing the scales. And to the man in that passenger seat, whether he's embarrassed to this day, whether he laughs now or still cringes when he remembers, I hope he learned something, not just about wind resistance and tumblers, but about how quickly anger makes fools of us all, because what happened to him on that Florida road was the gentlest version of karma. It was coffee, not bullets, laughter, not sirens, embarrassment, not funerals, and if we can take that as a lesson, maybe fewer of us will end up in the darker headlines. So what do we take from this, family? We take the reminder that our energy is always boomeranging back, that our impatience, our aggression, our attempts to harm others have a way of circling around. We take the reminder that the road is not just a place of travel, it's a mirror of who we are. And we take the reminder that sometimes the universe delivers its justice not with judges or juries, but with the wind and a splash of hot coffee. Let me close with this. The old saying was right, never spit into the wind. But let's make it broader. Never let your anger spill into the world in a way you wouldn't want reflected back on you. Never let your impatience write your story for you. And never forget that what you throw is what you'll carry. Because instant karma isn't just about coffee on the face. It's about the truth that always finds us sooner or later. So drive safe, drive calm, carry patience like a seatbelt. And remember, the universe may let you ride reckless for a mile, but eventually it catches up. And when it does, you better hope your lesson comes in coffee, not in consequence.